Hello, this is 3020 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these amazing people have agreed to join me this afternoon for me, this morning for them, to play a silly little game which has been a lot of fun. So let's talk to the people. Let's talk to the people and find out what they do when they're not here. Let's start with this time, Janet. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm new still here and I have YouTube channels, YouTuber and streaming.
Yep.
And in free time, sometimes something for right.
I know you're.
And I love video games.
Oh, don't we all? Oh, thank you so much for that. And let's pop over now and get some similar information from the multi talented Brill Chan.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brilchan or Brill for short, and I play. I think it's on Friday. I play in another game in the same channel. I play in Incarnate Heights, a crazy communist hacker who almost died the last game. So everything is ramping up, and Cyberpunk Red Lake Cyberpunk 2020 is a very little game, and it was nail biting. It's a fun episode. It's worth to watch. But today I will be playing John Dodir, another crazy person who has just been through a personal experience, and he's getting more well adjusted, more normal, and he's trying to root himself in reality and in friendship with Ashley.
And he
And we
also
will see
pretty
more
much
of
died 2 weeks ago.
this
So.
episode. Yeah. And he also died almost.
Yes. All right.
But
So
it was 2 episodes in the past.
the biggest nail biter during that time was me.
You can rewatch those on VOD.
Yes, you can. The VOD and or the YouTube channels, which we'll talk about again at the end of the show. But let's get started.
Yes.
Tonight, the show is Jitterbug Run. These amazing people have joined me from most of the way around the world, and because of a time change, I almost screwed up the start of this today. So, but we're here. We're ready to go. We're playing a game that was the system itself is oh dear. Oh yes, I remember. It's inspired by Grok. The system inspired by Grok, but we're playing it with the Quest RPG system because it's flat out easier to use.
And also inspired by 80s American comic books.
That is also
Heavy
true.
metal. Heavy metal.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's like I've said that 1,000 times. Yeah, without the inherent sexism, yes. But also, the character art for this was done using Hero Forge. The background art in the overlay is actually from the Grok manual. And that's enough. No chainmail bikinis, exactly. Uncomfortable and they chafe.
Yeah.
But when last we were here on this red planet, this dusty hellhole that nobody in their right mind would go to, which is why everybody here is crazy, you had an encounter with an interesting couple, turns out, who gets bored in the desert and likes to play with people. Surprisingly, for some, you survived the encounter. You figured out the issue, you solved the problem, you answered the riddle, and you were set free. They're probably still arguing about that back at the cabin.
And we did it by the book.
By the book.
No crazy ideas that day.
Well, this game's full of crazy ideas. You guys have no idea. They just seem normal to you because you're having them.
Yeah.
But with that encounter behind you, it's time to settle in for another night because that took all night. And you remember you came back to the convoy, they'd not moved. So in one sense, you've kind of lost the day. But that's all right. Is there anything you wanted to do after that before you settle in for this day's rest?
Letter I want sent.
Yes, the letter, of course. This letter. What does this one say?
about Riddle and
Okay.
about cookies.
Cookies and the tail. Um, I know in the past you sort of left out the scary bits. Are you continuing to do that, or are you being sort of
No,
more honest?
I'd say whole story because it's not was so scary that dead are alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Perfect. Okay. So with that, and you're just sending the letter and waiting for the response this time, or are you going with again?
Send and I leave
Okay.
because I don't know when they reply.
Fair. So the letter that you get back again is always written on the back of the letter that you sent, right? This one, there's several different handwritings on the back. This time, it's two or three people. It's three people actually. The first one is your mom, full of "Oh my goodness, dear, be careful. Oh my good, you've meeting the wrong kind of people." You know, the standard mom worried stuff, right? The equivalent of cookies. Then there's a couple sentences from your father talking mostly about how the farm is doing exceptionally well, and they've got so much they're actually able to help out the neighbors, and because of that they're sort of gaining uh, almost like a following, and he's very worried that they're going to start treating him as special, so he's working extra hard and dad stuff, right? He's trying to live up to this pressure of being successful. And then there's a little bit at the bottom from your brother. And it just says, I wrote this after mom and dad, so they don't get to read it. And then there, you can hear the pause, like it's you can hear him deciding whether to write it or not. And then very quickly, so scratched, it's almost illegible. It says, I think you're really brave and cool. And it's just his initials.
oh, I love it.
Shame he don't write any heads or something like that. Sounds scared.
So you get that
I
message.
also I also have question.
Mm-hmm.
If ne- if everybody from farm know about how his rich father, then there's no risk of thieves and stealing
Mm-hmm.
this gold
Um,
because some people could be mean and rude
sure.
that someone is rich.
You can write him hire some security, Papa.
Well, you get a response. I'm going to say that you put that in the letter, and when he responded in Dad's part, he responds. He says, "The thing is, when you help everybody, nobody wants harm to come to you." And then there's Ashley. You don't understand how much you've changed this, and almost in capital letters, this whole valley.
Mm, that, I like this.
I'll bet. Now, Ashley, reading that about there's everything at home is going amazingly well, and you're sitting on your butt here in a stinky red desert with a guy that keeps trying to die, and and maybe he's starting to take things seriously, and his TRX is nuts too, and all of that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask,
but
yeah,
but I also think that now Ashley don't feel pressure. She needs soon back because she have job offer from Bob.
oh yeah, yeah, you're set. It's just a matter of making sure you stay alive to the end of this run, right? Perfect. We're going to skip over to John for a minute. Did it sink in, John, how close you came to dying with the cowboy and the corpse?
Or Lilu, but John is thinking about the bigger picture. He wants to drop in an Ashley and ask her, could you help me? I seen that this is doing some mail for you with the gold and with everything. I wanted to uh, buy some land next to your family because I will be working for the dirty bastards here, but I wanted to have a summer mansion next to with a farm with an orchard next to your family, and I wanted to try and bribe what's left of my sisters. I'm not sure who's alive from my family, but I was thinking about bribing some freedom from them and putting them in my summer home so they can be happy. Not all of them were bad.
I would help with siblings, but about buying land, you need to ask my father
That's
because
a wonderful idea. You know, I have all this money, and I would, in the past, I would waste it on parties and stupid stuff like that. But meeting you and seeing how nice your family is and how good you are with money, I was thinking that maybe I should try and do it the right way like you do and invest in my future, have a summer home.
yeah, I'm I'm rooting for you that you will
Amazing.
good
So
to it.
so maybe we can sit and write something to your father and send it out. I got some.
Yeah,
I'm laughing
you
over here
can.
because I'm thinking if you phrase this wrong and her dad gets a letter that says, I'd like to talk to you about your daughter and a very important, yeah, he might get the wrong idea.
No,
Uh,
And
no, no.
about land. And about land.
about it's dad,
Maybe
it's
that's
about
what
land.
happens. And we are
All
like,
right, so
no, 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 no. That's not what we
so
meant.
for now, because you already sent the letter tonight, I'm gonna say that you can put that letter together, but you're gonna have to send it at the next evening.
Okay.
Okay?
No problem. I thought that it's something fun that both of our characters can do.
It's and I
Yeah,
always as a player
but
or as a GM, I take it
but
as a personal compliment when people do this. When they say the players like are like, no, we're not. We want to stay friends after this. That's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Ashley, you were gonna say?
but would be fun if John bring his paper like perfume paper, pink
Yeah,
or
like the
something.
Legally Blonde. It's pink and it's scented
Yeah.
and with flowers on it. Stationary.
And and stamps,
Yeah.
colorful like
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Uh, Dad's
And
gonna
I
be
was
so
thinking
confused.
yeah, that maybe some of John's siblings are the same age as Ashley's brother. So in the future, the two characters may be family.
Well, let's leave that in the future because we still got to
Yeah,
get you alive through the rest of this
definitely.
adventure. So, after you've got everything done that you've done and messages are sent and written and prepared for the next night, you settle down to rest. Maybe it's because of the encounter the day before, but you've and the whole convoy has sort of slept in. So when you hear the scream, it's already dark outside. At night, I did say scream. We're going to get back to that in a second. At night, the convoy circles up like an old wagon, like the wagon trains, right? Literally in a circle because it's the easiest to defend. Inside that circle, there's a series of 6 large bonfires, and the guards provided by the convoy, you guys don't have to guard, walk around inside and just outside the circle watching for trouble. The scream that wakes the both of you comes from inside the circle.
Ashley will first run check what is happening.
Yep. You slam open the door of your shelter because I know you make shelters. So kind of
John would run out in his tighty whities, colorful coat, just magic stuff in one hand, the gun in the other.
okay.
What's wrong?
What you see is that one of the fires has gone out, and where that fire was, there's now a sinkhole in the ground. Just as you step out and start screaming, "What's going on? What's going on?" one of the guards leans over the hole, and there's a flicker of light, of movement, as a shiny, chitinous armored body comes out of the hole, grabs him with its mandibles, and a 2 meter long ant pulls him back into the ground. He's gone. You can feel the ground underneath you moving.
John would run and jump in the hole. Tally ho!
Okay. Wow.
I got to save him.
John in
Actually,
the hole in his tidy whities. Okay.
Actually, we look around outside because maybe something is happening now outside since we're moving.
Perfect.
But she trying to be very secure
Mhm.
to not be pulled.
All right. So, in that
Yeah,
case,
look.
John, as you rush towards the hole to jump into it, you see there's kind of a black, inky mist coming out of it. It makes it even darker in that area.
I would light up my magic stuff with the
Yep.
magical flame
Yep. So,
to
does
have
that,
light.
does that take an action point?
Yes,
or no?
it takes one action point.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to
Because
start
it's
keeping
the
track of that.
first level
Yeah,
Avenger.
because you're going down into a dark hole. So, I'm going to have you keep track.
Definitely,
One per
I know
round.
it's stupid, but
Oh, I
it's
love this.
the
No,
way
this is
that he
this
thinks.
is going to be perfect. Yeah, he's getting the
Ashley's
sand out
staying
of-
up top to protect the rest,
Yep.
and he's jumping in to save the guy that was taken by the ant.
Perfect. So we're going to start
And
with
he
Ashley.
would yell to Ashley, please stay here, protect the rest, I will save the one guy down. And he wouldn't listen for an answer,
And
he's just
so
focus on the
Ashley,
task.
Ashley, you hear that? You see bare feet, flapping underwear, gun, and a lit up thing as he leaps into this hole, and thump, down he goes. Your eyes flicker around left to right. You see another one of the fires starting to flicker, and you can see the sand is being dug out from underneath it.
I'm putting my gun ready towards this bonfire.
Yep. It falls into the hole, and you see, as you step close, you can see sort of legs, ant legs, and antennae, and the top of a couple of these huge 2 meter long ants starting to come up out of the hole.
I'm static shooting,
Just
but I'm trying to have
Mhm.
distance to not be pulled. And I say,
Yeah.
other guards do not come close.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna shoot. We're gonna give you 2 shots. So, blam. The first. Whoops! I forgot to do this. First one is an 11, which hits, and the second is a 17. So I said there was 2 ants there. You just. The first one, you just see the whole head explode. The second one, it goes right down the body, and you kind of see the shock inside, the hydrostatic shock of the bullet passing through. These 2 are absolutely dead, but there's 2 or 3 more crawling up behind it. We're going to cut
I'm
down.
still shooting.
Yeah, and you're just going to keep blasting away. Perfect. So I'm going to come back to you in just a second, because we're going to go to John. You hit that sand, and it just falls with you in it. There's no pressure. There's no sort of compression. And you find yourself, you come to a stop up to your waist in this sand. You look above you. You can see the night sky through the hole about, it's this like this above you. It's a long ways up. You fell a long ways. You are standing in a warren of tunnels. They go everywhere. There's no signs. There's no map. There's no plan. It's just up, down, sideways, every which direction. And everywhere you look, there are these giant 2 meter ants just staring at you, but they're not getting any closer. They're right at the edge of the range of light of your beam. So what? As you start this turn, please knock off another action point for keeping the light lit for one more turn. I'm assuming you're going to.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But I would also like to use Evil Eye
Okay.
to find to find which patch they took the guy.
Okay. So burn the action points for that, and
Yes.
it's like it's like you can see a scent floating in the air. There's just these little particles of human that you can follow like a dog. As
Yes,
you
and
as you
he
move,
would
they sort
try
of
to do that.
you can see the ants trying to get close to you, but as soon as they get to the light, you can stop them. So every once in a while, one gets brave, and you have to sort of point the light at it a little bit. But you start to make your way in that direction. Cut back upstairs. Ashley, you're firing into this hole, and you're keeping them at bay. But you hear behind you, "Oh shit!" And just out of the corner of your eye, you see another one of the fires starting to drop into the ground.
I start to ask guards and everybody can how fast we can start moving caravan because I feel like we are ant house and we make them only hungry staying here. So
Perfect.
better
Yeah,
move.
absolutely. So he takes this little cornet, little trumpet up to his lips and blows three quick blasts. Meep, meep, meep. And you see they're standing the merchant marines were all standing around holes with pistols and like sticks and getting ready to fight. They hear that it's like somebody hits them with an electrical charge. They just bolt to their vehicles, and you can see the fans and the wind gathering equipment firing up. So yes, they're starting, and then you fire two more times down into the hole.
Yeah,
Okay. 13 and 11. Yeah, you're. I mean, it's pretty hard to miss this distance. You're just popping ant skulls as they come up through the ground. But you see, they're just being pulled back down into the hole, and more of them are coming. One more quick back down to John. You start to make your way through the tunnels. Yeah.
Good.
One
Before
one more
I
AP
go that.
for light. Yeah.
Okay, I got six, but I was thinking that to uh, shoot uh, mm, a finger gun into the ceiling of the tunnel to bury the ants before
Okay.
they go out of the. Like he jumped in the fire
Yep.
hole,
Yep. I think I
so
know what you mean. So as you're running along,
before
you see another
leaving
one.
the
Yeah.
yeah, bada bing, bada boom, the ceiling,
Yeah.
and maybe dual shield, so he wouldn't.
Okay.
So that would be
Burn all those
four.
action points. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because he would die in the avalanche.
I'm gonna say I'll give you the shield was a good idea, but I'm a nicer GM than that. You do it over there,
Okay,
so you're not going to get crushed. So I won't make you pay for shield.
so
Uh,
it would be 3 points.
3 points, and we'll save you one.
Yeah.
All right. And with you're shooting holes in the ceilings and just following this guy, right? You're following the scent of
Yeah.
this guy. All right. Back up on the surface. Ashley, you could stand here all day. The party is starting to get ready to move. In the middle of the circle, where no action has been so far, it's all been around the fires, the ground explodes upwards like the start of a Godzilla movie. It's just this eruption of earth. And you see stepping out of that hole a huge ant. I mean, the other ones were 2 meters long. This one's 5 meters long. It's got its two front legs have been turned into arms, and it's got obsidian swords, one on each arm. And it's you can see it's also wearing something very much like a sunglasses for ants. So this one can be out in the light. So you see that, and you learn a thing here too. These things don't like the light. That's why they're trying to put out the fires.
I would start throwing bombs that I have
Yep.
from having.
Yes, you do. Just the regular bombs or something special? Because I remember you had a bunch of
This
different kinds.
These boxes
Oh,
small that use fire to explode.
right. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. Okay, so you sort of sling your rifle, grab one of these bombs out of your pocket, arm it, and throw it. 15. Right underneath the chest. Whoomph. There's an explosion part that kind of blows off some of the pieces of its armor. Its external armor showing its kind of guts showing out. But like any ant, it doesn't stop. You've done damage to it for sure. And it's also on fire now, and it doesn't like the fire, but you can see even with the glasses on, it's also responding to the light of the fire that's right here, and it starts to thrash back and forth. Although even in those thrashings, it's wrecking stuff. It's knocking over people. It catches the leg of one of the strand beasts and breaks it. I mean, it's a machine, but they're built kind of. They've got legs, right?
Yeah.
And one of the legs just, and you see this thing start. They're just starting to move now, and that one limping away. A little bit creepy, but sorry, it came to my mind, so you have to share that too. But
I
that
think
ant,
it's awesome.
it is temporarily distracted from you, Ashley, but it is starting to pound its belly on the ground to kind of try and put the fire out. Let's skip back
I
to.
would,
Hmm?
I would throw another bomb at head this
Okay, this time. Okay,
trying.
so yeah, so this time you pull that out, and we're going to get back to you in just a second with the head bomb.
I'm kind of sad that we don't have any communication devices
Nope.
because John would think about that the ants go unsent, so the stink bombs would work
Well,
better. And then,
this is good information, John, because as you follow the smell,
Yeah.
you could feel a thick breeze kind of hitting you in the face because you're running, right? I mean, I'm assuming you're
yeah,
moving at speed, right?
definitely.
Trying to follow this guy. And it's just a sensation of there's a big open space in front of you coming, and you skid to a stop just in time because you're like halfway up the wall of this huge round chamber. In the middle is the ant queen, 20 meters long, pulsing mass, no armor like the other things, just putting out egg after egg after egg. Surrounding her is her entourage of soldiers. So Ashley upstairs, unbeknownst to you, is facing one of these. There's 15 or 20 of them. Look up at you, and you see the queen is feeding, about half done, the human that you're here to rescue. There's no rescuing.
So he's dead.
He's dead and half consumed. Yeah.
Okay. I get only 4 points of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So too small for my big spell, but I got a question. Could I cast from my own health? Like take some damage to
Yes.
cast from my own life force because
two to one. Take 2 damage for every point you want to burn.
yes. So I would take 2 damage to have 1 more
Yep.
magic point than I have now because seeing that the some of the person who he was hired to help and a human being who he seen around the camp, they weren't close, but
Yep.
he started to think about Dennis' family, and he would take his life force and he would take his hands through the queen and like ball his fist and screamed. I won't scream because I don't want to shout anyone's ears off, but he would scream Pyro Magnus Iris Destructo. And there would be a blaze of rainbow technicolor, a radioactive magical flame.
Wow.
Consumed the Ant Queen. I can read out because it says it's of magical flame that consumes the target.
Okay. Absolutely. Yep.
You condemn a creature engulfing them in a radiant flame.
Okay. So you, and in this dark underground dwelling, the only light source was your little tiny staff. but
The
whoosh.
stuff would go out. He's all out of magic.
Yep.
He's scared. It took everything out of
Yep.
him and then some more.
Your nose is bleeding. Your light goes out. You stumble like Gandalf on the bridge. Right? Just you're exhausted. You're just it's everything you've got to stay awake. In the what was darkness below you, a rainbow boils. That's the image I've got. It's just it fills up the bottom of the cavern and it just and you can see this pulsating mass of this queen just shriveling and like a bug that's been hit by bug spray, right? And all around her the warriors are doing the same thing. Ashley, on the surface, the warrior that you're fighting rears back, and as you rear back to throw your bomb, you see it turn its head and dive towards the hole. Are you still going to blow it up?
No,
Okay,
because I think it's waste of bomb.
absolutely. So you let it go and you kind of catch yourself. It dives into the hole. You look around and you're on the surface still, so you could feel up until now this the whole ground is vibrating. That starts to fade. It's not like it's going away, it's like it's going deeper.
I was thinking, what is John doing?
Yeah.
And ask people to faster move caravan.
So they're bolting. It's not even like they're not even in their 2x2 format at this point. It's just catch as catch can. As soon as they get ready, they're gone, and they're going as fast as they can up the road away from this place. Which means there's less and less of them left around you, Ashley, on the surface. But downstairs again.
One question, technical.
Yep.
I think that John would like the pendant so much that he would sleep in it. You can say no,
Yep.
but I think that knowing what he did, he would try to turn on the pendant to
Okay.
get a second breath and try to run out double time.
As you as you wrap
With
your
the
hand
magic
around
of
it,
the cat pendant.
you wrap your hand around it, and with all your what's left of you, you just will it into power. It doesn't feel like anything happens, but when you look up, you can see this place was starting to collapse, and now it's collapsing in very slow motion. Behind you, the boiling in the pit clearly shows the queen is dead, the warriors are dying. You can hear coming towards you down out of all of these tunnels tens of thousands of these giant ants. And you start to run, John.
Yeah, and try to find a hole to get out.
Just up, right? Just up.
Yeah.
And you're just tearing. You can feel the breath.
And he's thinking, Hermes, I could use your help now, buddy.
You're absolutely thrashed. You got nothing left. It's like climbing Everest with no oxygen, right? It just,
definitely.
But as you come around corners, you see the ants coming towards you, but they're so slow you can just dance over their backs and just keep going.
And he does dance.
Yeah.
Even
in your tidy whities. Don't forget, in your tidy whities. And now in the dark.
They aren't tight and they aren't white.
They're neither tight nor white anymore.
Seeing the queen, let's say just say that he did some discharging.
So
you're
tearing up this thing, jumping over the dead ants and over the explosions behind you, and the floors and ceilings are collapsing around you. On the surface, Ashley, the last of the caravan, leads, and you can feel the earth below you kind of start to go liquidy. There's no sign of John. What do you do?
I ask, where is Bob? And ask Bob to go for John.
Okay, he's waiting there with you. He's your buddy. He looks at you and kind of starts. You're at that point where you have to start walking to keep from sinking into the ground. And he says to you, I don't want to be rude, but if he's down there, he's gone.
I say, maybe you're right, but his ones are already dead, so maybe he's still living. Go
Is
for
Dizzy there?
him.
Because Dizzy could help.
Well, here's what we're gonna do is this.
Yeah.
As you say that, Ashley, to uh, Bob, he kind of looks at you and he's about to argue with you, but in the distance, you see a hand. John, you're out of energy. There's nothing left. You just reach that desperate reach, and you
And I say,
feel your hand
and
come out
I
of the dirt.
said,
Yeah,
and I say to Bob, look, please, John, help me pull out him.
and you hear Bob say, "Son of a bitch," and then the two of you run over and pull John out of this mass. The three of you back away from the collapsing. It's turning into one giant sinkhole now. This whole ant nest.
Yeah, and John, barely alive, with the
Again,
last of his strength, he would say to Bob, I'm sorry, that is dead. I tried to save him. The queen killed him before I found him. I killed the queen. I'm sorry I didn't do better. And he would collapse into colorful darkness.
yeah. As you start to pass out, the last thing you hear is Bob saying, "What do you mean? We only lost one. They could have killed us all." And that's when you drop out and you realize that the two of you did save them all.
I I want to see what will Medic say that he is again a resurrected
Mm-hmm.
John.
Um, the medic very quickly scans John and says, he's just exhausted. He's kind of wiping the blood away from his nose. He says, "I've seen this before. It happens when these magic folks overextend themselves. He'll be all right as rain in a couple hours."
And Ashley just go to doing her business.
Okay. As you continue on, and as John is carried back, we'll have Bob carry him back. The Dizzy and Hermes appear uh, from the near distance. They step out from behind a rock, and they are just covered in ant blood. They've been feasting. In fact, Hermes has still got the last half of one sticking out of his mouth, and he's out, kind of shake themselves off and come over and get ready to crouch down and get ready for you guys to climb on like nothing happened. They just had a nice snack.
And Ashley will wipe a Dizzy
Mhm.
before Hop got Dizzy.
With a
and
handkerchief.
and to be fair, Dizzy is much cleaner than Hermes. Dizzy's amongst everything else, they're a classier eater than Hermes. But yes, you clean them up and head off into the darkness, catching up to your
I
convoy.
don't clean Hermes
No,
because Hermes is John,
that's right.
but only Dizzy.
Yep, absolutely. They tie you, John. For the purposes of this, you wake up as you wake up as they're tying you to Hermes, and it's kind of, what?
I'm sorry, I wanted to save them, but it was too late. I'm sorry, I didn't do my job, and he's delirious
He
from the
grabs
exhaustion.
you by your forelock because you've got one. I saw it.
Yeah.
He grabs you by it and lifts you up until you're right here, looking in his face, and he says, "I've never been part of a convoy that didn't lose at least 10 people and at least 4 strand beasts."
So I did good.
You did a hell of a lot better than most.
Okay, I'm gonna to sleep now, boss.
And he finishes
But
tying you
I,
to her. Yeah.
but Ashley will shoot to John, but never again risk your life like that.
I have to save people. And he would just lose his consciousness again because he's too weak and he in his mind he had to report to the boss, and
Sure.
when the boss said it's okay, we're safe, he's doesn't have any more uh, like psychological strength to
That's
keep
fair
up.
because if he did, he'd have to.
Ashley,
Yeah.
yeah, Ashley can admonish him later because now he's not in a
Well,
state to get any
Ashley,
information.
Ashley will only say to herself under nose that you can't save everybody and you can't save if you're dead.
yeah.
But she feel like
Definitely, she's right, but John is only recently starting to learn that life isn't an adventure book.
Well,
Maybe Ashley
this was
can
the
make
second
him.
time. This is absolutely the
Yeah,
second time John's been basically dead. Yeah.
yeah, and maybe Ashley could, because she has the herbalist power or ability. Maybe she can make him some connection to give him more strength.
she will too, but I don't know if John will be able to drink when he sleep.
Uh, they can take
Squeeze
his
the nose.
mouth to nose and just force it in him.
Either way, we can get it into it. Uh, but the offshoot of this is that you keep going because I mean it's the night's just started, right? This attack was just at dusk. So you have to keep going and you grind through the whole night. John, you're sort of in and out of consciousness and drinking things that people are giving to you and feeling a little bit better, but still exhausted and then confronted with your
Definitely.
own mortality again and shut down. And all
Yeah.
that whole process over and over and over again.
Ashley, while doing the tea for John or magic car, whatever, she was still talking to herself how John is stupid,
Oh
but
yeah.
not loud,
Yeah.
only
Yeah,
to herself.
Yeah.
yeah, and John getting in and out of consciousness is like, I couldn't save him. I couldn't save him.
Yeah.
He's still stuck in the image of the queen eating the body
Oh yes.
alive.
But when he drink this tea, Ashley
He
will
would,
say, Ashley will shake John and say, get together. You can't save everybody.
but all the heroes do. Why can't I? I'm supposed to be a powerful wizard.
But you can't save everybody when you die.
Okay. You can see that he's trying to process like the little hamsters. Like we can have a comic book
These little
page of
gold-plated
little
hamsters.
hamsters in
I
libraries
like it.
and suits like from Victorian England
I like
dancing
I
in his head.
I like it in one cabaret. They said
Yeah.
when someone start thinking that machine from a lottery is starting working.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lotto machines. Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of, I was picturing image in the comics, like he has the spinning wheel for
Yeah.
the hamsters, and the hamsters are all over dressed as he is,
Yep.
and they are trying double time to get him to understand to not kill himself for one person if he has to save all the other ones, but
Yes.
he kind of gets the idea that he should stay and protect the whole caravan, not
Yes.
run after the other person, and that's the information he got from Bob and from Ashley, and
Sure.
that's what
I
he would.
imagine I imagine he have big bowl in head and little balls shaking like in mixer.
Yeah. Maybe the gerbils can power up the mixer, the lotto machine.
Well,
Because in Poland lottery looks like that.
Yeah,
So
they have those all over the world. The same type of machine,
Yeah.
Powerball and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So the rest of the night it's a grind. I mean, that after fight adrenaline hits you and you just you come down and you're trying. Even Ashley, I know you're on the job and everything else, but it's difficult. And as the sun starts to crack the horizon, the art style has changed. It's just pen and ink. It's just black lines on a white background. There's no shading, there's no nothing. It's almost like sketches. It's almost like you caught up to the artist in the book. And what you see ahead of you is a literal ocean of sand with waves but no moisture.
remind me One Piece. There was a river of sand.
It is, and there's the thing is this sea is roiling and boiling and there's waves and everything else, but there's no wind. Something else is stirring those depths. And
I
like a
was thinking if we can't go another way because I feel like there's creatures under this river of sand.
unfortunately, you know that your goal is an island in this sea of sand, so you kind of have to go. But
I was thinking
Mhm.
if we can put it some bridge.
Well, there's all kinds of options, but first I want to get finished setting the scene for you, because like a finger pointing at nothing, a spur of rock sticks out of the butte that you've been riding on, out into that ocean. And on the end of it, at the verge of the sand and projecting out over it on piles, even, sits a pier and docks. Between it and you lies a small town looking for all the world like a fishery. As you can see, there's a twist of sand catches your eye just in time to see a trawler out on the boat be wrapped in a giant uh, octopus arm, sort of a tentacle. That's the word I'm looking for. Wrapped in a giant tentacle and pulled down into the dirt.
Oh,
The larger,
sand
oh sorry,
krakens.
I almost forgot. The larger boats are tied up out of the water at the pier and the docks, and the smaller ones are pulled all the way up onto the non-beach, the sort of
So
anti-beach.
it's water or sand?
It's sand that acts like water, but the reason that the sand
Oh,
is moving is because it's full of critters.
so cool.
And in the far, far distance, lit by the rising sun, a pale island rises from the equally pale waves. It's your goal, the inland island. In this pen and ink black and white world, somehow it's shaded in the palest of greens. But you're not there yet. The village in front of you has a sign, and it says, Downwind welcomes all who come in good faith. That's the official sign. Underneath it, somebody has scrawled, Be good or we'll feed you to the fish.
I was thinking to herself, but nothing saying that if this village have some religions fanatics
Mm-hmm.
or occult, and if so, I don't trust anybody this village.
Now, this is the village that you have the present from the dirty bastard. You're supposed to deliver it to the person who calls themselves the mayor of this village.
I'm going alone to this village, but I very guarded herself to not talk with anybody that need.
Is John awake at this point?
Yep, you'd be waking up. Yep.
So John would put on his coat. He would still look like a zombie, all pale, and his skin would look like that killed over, all waxy and stuff. And he would say, "I got to stock up on mana potions for the future. My magic energy is too low for our needs. I need to buy a few. Maybe they will have them." and he would go with Ashley to the city.
But Ashley will split from John when in village
Yeah.
because she don't want talk with anybody that Mayor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely John would let her. He would start using his magic stick as a walking stick
Yeah.
because he's barely walking.
So John, you have the present, right? The puzzle cube?
No, Ashley would
Ashley does.
have
Okay.
that.
All right. I just want to know who had it before you guys hit into town.
Even if John has it, he would give it to Ashley if she asked for it. Or she could just take it out of his stuff when he was out of commission.
All right. So as the two of you head into town, you get some looks, but I mean, it's a fishery, but it's also it's also a town, right? I mean, it's got people that are living here, and it's got its own stories. Uh, sorry, I just got
They
distracted
are
by a message from
probably
somebody else.
used to being a caravan town.
Yeah, exactly. They are a
So-
trading post, amongst other things. They're a port city, a port town. So they kind of look at you and they look at the strand beasts on the horizon, and then they go back to doing what they're doing.
Yeah, another group of weirdos.
Yep.
They
So
are
you
used
guys,
to it.
the two of you said you're going to split up. Ashley, what's your goal here? What's your plan?
Just give this delivery and thinking what how go to island.
Okay. And John?
John wants to buy, search and buy a few mana potions. I think they are in the basic
Yep.
set of
Absolutely.
magical items. It's
Mhm.
I think it's a common magical item, but I'm not sure.
Yep. We're going to get back to that in a second because we're going to get to the
Actually,
economy. So, yes. Mhm.
Actually, also we want to buy small souvenirs to- while
Yeah, for her
walking
collection.
Yeah.
while walking to Mayor.
Perfect. So, what the yeah, we'll get you to you see there's a small souvenir shop, and it's I mean, a this is a whaling community basically. There's scrimshaw, the carved on whalebone art, pictures of the town itself carved into whalebone. There's pictures of boats fishing for, and you see them like fishing for giant kraken out of the ocean.
Like the one she has on her dagger, that
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
hunting knife that John gave them.
yeah.
The knife
hand-carved
is
scrimshaw.
probably from here.
That makes sense. Yep. Or was there something else you were thinking of? You tell me. What does Ashley find?
I could be this painting of town because she want to remember she was here
For sure.
and
Yeah.
let her show to his little brother are the souvenirs.
Nice. So yeah, we're gonna give you that. That's we're not gonna worry about paying for that. That's just a thing. You got all kinds of money. So, yeah, you pick up this beautiful little scrimshaw tablet. It's like kind of an oval, and then it's got the image of the city on it, and then in the background there's the ocean, and way in the very very distance you can see they put a slight little bump on the horizon where the inland island is.
And maybe it's a tablet, so you can put ink on that and repeat
Do a
the
roll.
image
Yeah, absolutely.
on the paper.
So that's easy enough, Ashley, to get that. And then a couple questions, and you're aimed for when you ask for the mayor, you get the same look from everybody. It's kind of a giggle, and they all refer to him as the man who calls himself the mayor.
I said to myself, no, it's not of my business. I just give delivery and go my way.
Absolutely. So you follow the instructions, and to no surprise, after hearing this so many times, it's just a house. It's got a sign, a handmade sign outside that says House of the Mayor of Downwind. And there's a little sign underneath that that says no appointment necessary. And in fact, the door of the house is standing open. Yeah.
So I go, but very slowly and looking around and say, so if this is open and no appointment, I'm coming. Anybody here? And I
Yeah.
said, I have package for you.
And as you look in, there's nobody there. You say, I have a package for you. And at the far end of this big room, two doors, a double door, slam open. And this, I'm sure they would call themselves a magnificent spectacle. They are like John levels of fancied up, but it's all gold braid and purple robes and ermine and big collars and sashes and medals, and it's just it's just so over the top, but it's also all so clearly fake. Like it's not the
So
real
John
thing,
bought with no taste.
with no taste and no money. But they slam the doors open and look at you, and they're trying to look regal, and then you hear a present for me.
Yeah, sent from bastards. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
had so much
and
fun with him, and they run like that, boom, 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 because they're a big person, right? They boom, 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 boom
and
across the
I will
thing. No
say,
class at all, right?
I will say, I will say, text you space. I don't want hugs and stuff. Here, you spray your package, and that's all. I don't need stay. I have stuff to do.
And by the time you're halfway through the conversation, they've opened the little box that it was in, looked in, and saw this fancy thing, and they start going, yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep,
I'm picturing Louis the 16th, the king's
exactly.
son.
Yeah, just so overdone, it's ridiculous. And Ashley, you see them lift the little puzzle box out of the package, and they start to look at it, and they start pushing things, and you see the first little part
And
of it
I,
go, and you,
and
yeah,
I run away.
yeah, you see the first little click, oh, and then as you get away, you get back about half a block away, and you hear behind you, and then people running. You look back, and there's actually a green fog coming out of his house and spreading over that whole half a block. And
Tsunami
that
of
is why they call him the dirty bastard. 20 years ago, this guy slighted him this much. He waited 20 years to drop a nauseating stink bomb on him.
a tsunami wave of green stink.
Oh, yes, just foulness. John, mana potions. Easy, nothing to it. What are you trading for them? They don't want money, they want stuff.
Okay, what does John have? He doesn't have much. He would trade his magic button of changing clothes with
Okay.
all of his crazy clothes program.
Yep. So you're back to just the spectacle you came in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley, what a trade for picture.
Sorry, I missed that.
What would Ashley
Ashley,
trade for the picture?
Oh, you didn't have to for the picture because it's not a magical thing. It doesn't have a lot of value. He's looking for mana potions, so they cost. So we had to do a trade. Okay, fair enough. So 2 mana potions. Let's make them 5 points each. Let's make them a full rest.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got 2 of those and scratch off your programmable
Magic
clothes.
close button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
A little tear runs down his eye.
A very
But
fashionable too.
survival is
Wow.
more important. He learned that from Ashley.
Look at him learning. Oh, it's amazing. Uh, with that, we're going to pop back to Ashley because you said the other thing you wanted to do was sort of figure out a plan for how to get out to this island, right?
yeah, because I feel like caravan will drown into sand since it's like water.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
also, and also, it's too slow, so creature could eat this
Yes.
caravan.
Yeah. So you make your way, I'm presuming, sort of down to the docks because you're going to have to get a boat, right? That's
Yeah,
the only way to get out there. Yeah. You talking to some of the locals, you find out some useful information. Uh, First things first, nobody is willing to rent you or sell you a boat. There's like, nope, this is my job. This is how I make my money. It is not for sale. Besides, says one of them, the pirates that are moving in from the west will take it.
I was thinking, what if attack pirates and take pirates boat?
That's certainly a
But
possibility, yeah. But you'd have to
but
get
then
out
I
the first.
thinking, but then I thinking, how would I find these pirates?
Mm-hmm.
Because we left them way far away.
Yep. One more thing that you find out, though, is that the Flexian meritocracy, their navy is currently blockading the island that you're trying to get to, but they're not doing it all that well. Small boats almost always get in, the larger boats are more likely to get caught.
I go to Bob Duck. What we do? Because we can't have boat, or we can't but from pirates, and we can't move this caravan because we drown and beaten be best.
So we're going to have John kind of cruise up at this point, just at the end
Yes.
of that. And Bob says to you, so let's steal some boats.
John hearing that I'm all for stealing some boats from pirates.
I meant these
We
boats.
can do it.
And he points at some of the
But
bigger
how?
boats out at the end of the dock.
But how we find a pirate, John?
Hmm. I know. I can find a pirate boat with my magic. The spell that we used to talk to my grandfather, I can use it to find a pirate boat we need. It can find anything in the multiverse through the
Okay,
Shadow Realm.
then use, because I don't want from village stealing boats, because these boats, they can't later send peace on us.
Yes, so John would sit down crisscross applesauce in the lotus position,
Yeah.
and he would do some sigils on the sand.
Yeah.
And he would, because it's a more complex thing to find, he doesn't have a concrete boat that he wants to find, but he wants to find some secret cove for pirates.
Okay.
That is somewhere close by,
I got
because
you. Okay.
pirates always have a secret hiding place,
Yes.
and he's trying to find such a place that that he and Ash, the plan before he starts, like he and Ashley would go steal the pirate boat, and the caravan should be ready at any minute to just hop on a ship. They would steal a ship and get close by, and then they would have a pirate boat.
Bob says to you, why don't we just go with you? And when we take the boats, we just climb on and go from there.
Or we can do that, boss. If you want to risk it, we can
You're
do
going to
that.
need crew for the boat, too. The
Yeah, to
start
merchant
it
marine
up,
can
you
do
are
that for you.
right.
Yeah. Ashley? Yeah.
Okay, go with us, but only take best people, because this will be a risky and hard job.
Yes,
That's fair, yeah.
and leave some to guard the strand beasts, because we might we have to time it correctly. You know, I only been on a boat once, and it was the boat that I was fighting on, so I don't have much knowledge about boats, sound boats or boats.
All right. So let me get this. I want to make sure I got this right. The two of you and a handful of the merchant marine are going to bugger off and steal the pirate boat.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the idea, and
That's the idea. All right.
and John would use Shadow Seek to find some secret pirate cove place that
Absolutely.
they can steal the boats from the thieves.
Yep.
So,
So-
thieving from thieves is not stealing. It's just justice.
arguable, but there you go. So that's the plan. That makes perfect sense
Yeah.
to me. So you leave most of them here. You take Bob and a handful of other, the hardier sailors, merchant marines with you.
And
Your spell
John would
costs
be
how many points?
back to 10.
Because you had a night's sleep. Yeah.
Yes, because
Or a
the
day's
Shadow
sleep.
Seek cost 3.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
focus your mind and let it drift, searching for pirates.
And it's all black and white.
Yep.
Because it's the Shadow realm.
Absolutely. And you're looking at sort of, from your view, it's sort of a topographic map in black and white. But you do find a little inlet that's got 2 large pirate ships and 3 smaller sort of galleys in it. There are 20 to 30 pirates in that region. It looks like most of them have buggered off somewhere to go drinking. So there's just sort of a defensive group around these ships. So after the day's rest, did the two of you head off in that direction with Bob and co?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And John would be like, maybe we can, we got a lot of drinks. Maybe we can spice up some drinks so they would get diarrhea. I could use some magic to get them to
But
drink the drinks.
then you will need to walk to inn or pub or pub, and they will see you. So only you need we need fight this defensive.
Yeah. I was just thinking that before we start to fight and kill, maybe we could try to coerce
Yeah, I
some
know,
of them to go away.
but it's too risky to go just to pub and to drop him to drink.
Okay.
Bob,
Because
Bob's
okay,
listening to you guys, and he's kind of looking back and forth. He says, why do we have to fight him at all? Why don't we just steal the ship when nobody's
I
looking?
want only steal ships and fight that who will protect these ships. So
I'm
only
not
this
very
defense.
stealthy, as you can see, showing off his coat.
So Bob says to you, so maybe you're the distraction?
Great idea, boss. That's why you're the boss.
And he grabs you by your forelock again and pulls you in and says, but don't die this time.
Okay, boss. Miss it.
Too long. That delay's too long. Way too long. Don't die this time.
I have
Okay.
question.
Yep.
Before we rested
Yep.
and go to these ships, we sent at this a letter.
Yes. Yes, we did. Thank you for the reminder. Over here,
And what
my
a
notes.
reply.
Let me find my notes. I know I wrote it down over here somewhere. There we are. So the letter you sent was about John finding space up the valley, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also had story about ants.
The ant, yeah, the whole day as per usual. So yeah, you get this time it's your dad's response. It says, first of all, I hate ants. Well done. And then there's the next bit is this valley's kind of full, but the next one over seems to be spacious, green. Ashley, you know your dad. What he's saying without saying is, I don't know this guy. I don't want him living right next to me, but you trust him, so I'm willing to have him over the hill.
And that's nothing. Just
Yep.
show a letter to John.
Okay.
And John would be over the hill
Literally.
figuratively
Yeah.
and metaphorically.
Yeah.
He would be happy about that, and he would draft all kinds of paperwork and send it out to
I
buy
also
the land.
question if this letter was sent in pink scented papeterie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's a
was.
very good point. That was set on the pink stationery. It comes back on the back of the pink stationery. But Ashley, you can imagine your dad writing this on this scented. It's probably got flowers in the corners, and yeah.
And can comment this paper
Hmm.
or not.
Uh, yes, actually, absolutely. P.S.
Mm.
Where did you, and it's underlined 3 times, find this paper? He desperately wants it to be your paper, even though the whole letter was from John and it's clearly John's paper. He would like this to be yours. That would be easier for him to
Oh,
process.
John is the daughter he never had.
I always say to John, I don't want anymore this paper like this. I have my own normal
Okay,
papers.
no problem.
Yeah. All right. So,
And
I also
I was thinking,
have
okay.
I have question.
mhm.
John have also fun pen like with heads
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
fountain pen, and it would be like garish, and it would have a peacock feather at the end.
Totally unnecessary peacock feather.
Yeah, and it would be the peacock feather would be gigantic.
Of course. Yeah.
Shame
Yeah,
it's not like my pen, big pen with big Pikachu at the end. Because
yeah.
this will be
Like
better.
the legendary Lervawenza pen that he
Yeah, but
the
with
huge pen.
Pikachu
Yeah.
at the
Pikachu
end.
at the
Oh
end.
yeah.
That
So
will be more faith to
yeah,
John.
I think John would have a collection of novelty pens with him and this journey, because that would be so John, because he gets bored with writing with one pen, so he had a whole collection of stupid pens.
All right.
But I was thinking that maybe Ashley could use her ability with the herbs to spike some drinks to give John a counter agent. So a little plan, a little subterfuge.
I thought you were just going to distract them
Oh,
and then run away.
okay. So
Sorry, I'm jumping in here. It's just 40 years of watching players make incredibly complicated plans and then throw them
and
out in
nothing
5 seconds.
works. I know.
So I just.
Yeah, we can
I
skip
have
that part.
I have only plan use my skill to sneaking
Yes.
and
Yep.
take both.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so John would be the rich stupid himbo who's, oh, pirates! I always wanted to be a pirate.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
John's got.
and
You're actually going to
he
walk into the camp.
uh,
Look at the pause. Look how
yes,
long he's thinking about this before he said yes.
and he would be like flaming sword on,
Mhm.
flaming stick on,
Okay.
so
Yep.
two points
Yep.
for fire show,
Oh
and
yeah.
he would be like, I always wanted to be a pirate.
All
Let me
right.
join.
Burn off one
And
point for the
he
light.
will have that parrot and I'd patch or not.
Uh, oh yeah, like the song you spin me right round, baby, right
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
And he would I forgot what was the singer's pseudonym, but he would be dressed just like that
Yep.
in that video.
That overwhelming. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So you burn 1 point of one action point for lighting up the staff. The rest of it's free. And John, even your upbringing would let you know when you're being treated as prey. They're like, "Hey, come on in here, have a drink," and one of them, you can see one of them pouring something in a drink, and then trying to hand that drink to you.
Yeah,
But
but
they're
I
approaching
think
you in a semicircle.
I think John, like living for the party, they would teach him how to fake drinking a drink
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
he was learning to be a businessman and
Yep.
he was touching everybody and stuff like that. So he would feign that he drink that and he would
Yeah.
think, "Ooh, that's strong. I feel woozy."
yeah. You rolled a 16 on that, so yeah, you managed to do the pour it down without anybody seeing it and start play acting along with it. They're circling around you, like the circle is starting to close behind you. But at that moment, Ashley and the rest of the crew start to. You said you were going to sneak on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6. That's a difficult choice. I got it. You can, as you start to sneak towards the ship, just as you get to the gangplank and start to climb the gangplank to get on the ship itself, one of the one of the pirates has been left on the ship as a guard, and you see him look over the side at you and open his mouth to scream. You've got difficult choice. You can either continue on, have him scream and alert the camp, or you see Bob next to you, looks at you, and says, "I'll take him out."
I let pop. And I also thinking if I could throw my knife.
Yep. So you reach for the knife, and yeah, go ahead and throw the knife. What am I doing? I got the dice. A 20. Wow. You just thunk right in the middle of the chest.
Assassin's Creed.
He
As
freezes.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob steps up at that
love.
moment. Like,
I love my Assassin's Creed.
yeah. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, because just dunk like right into the.
Yeah,
You
and,
know, you
and
look
I
down. There's
love
just
it's
the handle
the
sticking out.
knife
Right?
that John gave
Yep.
her.
As
Yeah.
Bob steps up at that moment, grabs the knife, spins the pirate around, and just pushes him off the knife over the side of the boat and into the sand. Even this close to the shore, you can hear as a bunch of little creatures chew up this pirate.
I asked Bob, would you give me back my knife?
He wipes the blood on his leg, hands you the knife, and says, "If you'll excuse me," and he grins and says, "Captain, I should get the ship underway."
Thank you, and yes,
And
full power of shape.
you see him just using hand signals because you're trying to be quiet, right? He's just pointing at people and pointing at things and pointing at places. And it's like they've done this their whole lives. They're merchant marine. They can run anything. Strand beasts are easy, and so is this. They start dropping sails and reeling in anchors and adjusting tension. They start running out, loading and running out the guns as well. You can see a deck down. They're running those out for you. And finally,
And I go stand behind this wheel.
Yep.
Like Capitan.
Absolutely. And Bob looks at you and pulls out a sword that's just sitting like there's stocks of swords all over the ship. He pulls out a scimitar and reaches for the rope that's connecting you to shore, and he says, "Just tell me when, Captain."
Now.
And he cuts the rope, and it falls, and the ship starts to pull away from the dock ever so slowly. John, they've completely circled around you.
Yeah, I think that John, he would take Dizzy with him. Dizzy is hiding in the background, and John, seeing that they are very very close, and they are taking out their knives to just shank him Caesar style.
Yep.
He would point at the ground and bingo bango at the ground, so he would use thunderous wave to just try to get them
Absolutely.
to explode like a
Yep.
fireball
Just to
or
blow them
something
back.
like
Absolutely.
that, and run to this uh,
Hermes.
to
Yeah.
Hermes
Yeah.
using his amulet of
Oh,
speed
okay.
to
I don't think you're gonna
be
need to
quicker.
because you and the wave just knocks these pirates down. They were just about to take you for everything you owned, right? They were not ready for
Yes.
this. It's just they all fall down in a circle. As they do, as you turn to run towards Hermes, you see Hermes and Dizzy coming out of the shadows towards you. One of the pirates sort of sits up a little bit and reaches for his sword, and Hermes just steps on his head on the way by. Just takes a couple more steps, and they skid to a stop, one on each side of you, shielding you because there are some other pirates starting to wake up now. They're coming out with their cutlasses bared. Some of them are pulling pistols. But at that moment, Hermes and Dizzy go full feral. You you're not controlling Hermes anymore. You're just holding on, like arms
Yes.
around the neck, sort of. Oh shit, here we go.
John would take out his own Glock and
Yeah,
start shooting
you'd like
like
okay.
it's the Raptor Crystal Jesus meme. Yeah, like
So
he's having fun now and
yes,
shooting
I love it. So
them.
we cut back to Ashley on the ship. As you cut the rope, you turn to see charging towards you pirates flying to one side and flying to the other side, Dizzy leading the way. And I mean, there's spit coming out of Dizzy's mouth. The eyes are just in full hunt mode. There's claws coming out. There's beaks coming out. Just bang, bang, bang. Anything that gets close to Dizzy's just getting wiped. And then right behind them is Hermes just pounding through the remainder, just on top and completely so ineffectual because he's being thrashed around so much. I'm not even going to let him roll.
Yeah.
But John's sort of holding on with
But
one
he
hand and
thinks in
firing.
his mind
It's just
he's
rounds
John
going
Wick.
off everywhere, all around it. It is pretty spectacular, I gotta say.
Yeah, and
Actually,
Ashley
we
could snipe
actually
some leftover pirates with her
actually we
sniper rifle.
actually we scream faster, John, because you will
Yep.
miss ship.
Yes.
And
And the ship is going
here in the
down the
faster John,
down the
he
pier
would
like this.
turn
Yep.
on he would turn on the amulet
Okay.
to get a bubble around him, Dizzy, and Hermes
Yep.
to get them moving
So
faster.
perfect. Ashley, you scream that, hurry up, you're gonna miss the ship. And like I said, the ship's going alongside the pier. You're almost off the end, and sailing ships don't turn quickly. So if you have to come back, this is gonna be a problem. The pirates will have recovered. And then you just watch as John and the two TRXs just blur. And the next thing you know, you hear beside you on the deck. And in the blink, you look up and Dizzy's standing here and Hermes is standing here. And John's on the back of Hermes, bam, one more round into the sky because he's kind of not aware that they moved yet.
Yeah. Yes, that was fun. Let's do that again.
Actually, we do face palm and and
He
nothing
can, she can
comment.
facepalm John if she wants.
Ashley, you
No,
start to steer the ship away from shore, right? I'm assuming.
yeah,
And as you
Oh,
do,
and
you
that
hear.
medic that saves John life, he would come close and just slap him on the face. Be normal, dude.
And Ashley, as you steer the ship away, you turn it broadside to the shore because you can see that the rest of the pirate uh, group is waking up now. There's another 20 or 30 of them coming out of these little tents and little hovels and little buildings. And you look down, and through a hole in the floor, you can see Bob looking up at you from one floor down. He's just covered in like gunpowder and soot and everything else. He looks up at you and he says, "Shall we fire the cannons, Captain?" And he throws you a big salute and he's just grinning.
I say yes. I will say AA, and I will say, but be safe. do not fire at herself, himself. I mean,
And he drops down under the deck, and you hear him scream out to everybody that's down there with him, "You heard the captain! Fire!" And 8 cannons down the side of that ship just boom, 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 boom. And they fire. Some of them fire solid shots, some of them grape shot. But either way, you can see it just tearing up that pirate camp, just shredding it. One of the cannonballs hits the fire and just sparks fly in all directions as the ship sails out into the darkling sea. Ahead of you on the horizon, you see a storm approaching. It's like a dust cloud.
I said to Bob, how close is docks where caravan is?
He looks at you, and you can see he's looking at the sand, and he's starting to pull up his collar and sort of make a little mask for himself to protect himself from the incoming sand. He says, we could go back to downwind. We got to go back to pick up the crew, but by the time we leave there, that storm's going to be on us. Now, we can use it to hide, but it's going to be a hell of a trip."
I always say try back because either way we need storm. And actually we cover her face.
I think we should wait out the storm. I don't think. I think that the pirates were so damaged that they won't risk attacking the town. And
But I don't mean town. I mean that we need to arrest people from caravan on ship, and we
definitely,
can't. And
And
we can't waste.
you also have to get through a blockade to get to the island too. So the sandstorm would at least cover. You're in big ships, right? You stole these big pirate ship, so they're gonna see you coming unless you use the storm as cover. Now you can blast your way in. Everything's an option, but
But if we go to island, then what points of caravan?
exactly.
Because
Yep.
I
because the
think I
rest
can try to negotiate passage for us with the blockade. I was supposed to be a merchant, so I'm pretty good at negotiation. I can
But
try to source out
but
what
first,
they
you've got to go
need.
back and get your caravan, right? If you go
Yes.
straight to the island, as Ashley said, you're there without you didn't do your job, right? You
Yes,
didn't get to it,
yes,
so-
definitely.
Okay.
I would think first on the agenda, go back to the city, get our caravan, and wait out the storm.
Okay. Either way, the waiting out the storm bit we'll get when we get there. But this is let's get us back to the city, or the town. So the pirate ship works its way down the coast. Are you taking it right to the docks?
yeah.
Okay.
John would use his prestidigitation magic to change the name of the ship
Yeah.
to the wonderful Ashley and colorful John. And
Actually,
he would
saying it
change
is
the
actually
color
saying
of the ship to not name dark blue.
Okay. Ashley, you were
And
gonna say?
and I would take out one PowerPoint from
Yeah.
myself, and I would have only 5.
Okay. And Ashley? Yeah.
actually we look at name of ship and again face palm.
Yes.
And the doctor would back slap John one more time. I said be normal.
I will
So-
say to
Do you
doctor,
have brain damage? My scanner says no, but I think my scanner may be broken.
Okay. Whew. I'm actually
uh,
starting to
actually,
feel a little tired, so and beat up. So we're
Actually-
gonna wrap this up fairly quickly.
We can
Wait,
wrap
wait.
this up.
actually we say to doctor, when you realize that it's impossible to be normal.
The doctor looks at you and says, I Ah, crap. And he just kind of shoulders slump and he realizes that, yep, he's just going to have to deal with John until you get where you're going. But with that, the ship returns to downwind. You sail in. At first, there's a kerfluffle because pirate ship coming in, but then they realize that they see the two of you and the merchant marine. John plays a little tune on it, or Bob plays a little tune on his trumpet, so they know it's him. And you sail in, and they're in awe. You're being offered commissions, privateers, commissions as privateers to go pirate hunting as a job. No.
I refuse
Yep.
because
J-
Bob will job better.
Yeah.
John would say, I can try to do it on the weekend. Put me on the list, but now I have a job with Mr.
Put
John.
me on the list.
I kind of have a few spells I want to try on the pirates, but now I'm busy with other job.
All right. So, two bits of information, and then I am going to have to drop the curtain. I'm
No problem,
really
it was
pooped
an amazing game.
but the two bits of information are when you get back, you're told by the locals this storm is going to last for days. They always do. You're also told that unless there's static lightning involved, it doesn't affect the sea monsters much. But if lightning starts, they go mad and attack everything on the surface. The other thing that they tell you is that all of your strand beasts can fit on this ship. Some of them are going to have to sort of crouch down and go under decks, but there are ways to get all 36. This is the biggest ship you could have found. This was only two ships on this entire coastline that were big enough to do this all at once. There was this one and the one that was incredibly well protected in the town. So good call on going to get this one. But we're going to leave tonight with the image of the strand beasts walking up that gangplank and onto the ship. And the two of you sort of covered in the detritus, because you really haven't, I mean, you fought the ants, but you still haven't had a sort of a chance to have a break since then, right? You rode all night, you ran all day, you did everything. You've been thrashed for a couple days now.
John is collecting a new ensemble from pirates' clothes from
Yep.
the
Oh, going
cabins.
through all the chests. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Press to digitate and everything to get the lice off of it. But yeah,
Yes,
there's a whole look, a whole John the Pirate look that I'm expecting a description of for next week.
definitely.
But with that, we are going to drop the curtain on today. We're a little bit short on time, but like I said, I'm running out of energy and I'd rather do it right next week.
It was amazing.
Than drag it out this week. So we'll start sailing from the port next week. But until then, we got to do some thank yous. Thank you very, very much to Janet and to Brill for joining me, not only in the middle of the night, but like I said, it was an hour before game, or an hour and a half before game time tonight when I went, oh shit, did we change time? I don't think you guys did, because the EU has sense and doesn't change their time all the time.
Not very much. They change as
We
well,
change.
but
Oh, do you?
We
this.
change.
Oh, okay. Either way.
But,
Yeah.
Yes,
but
and it
at
was.
the end, at the end of March, we
Ah,
change.
okay.
Yeah.
So this will oh my goodness. Okay, keep me in
Yes,
touch then, because
and-
otherwise we'll screw up
and-
one of these. So.
Yes, and now I remember that we forgot this story was from Seven Mountains, from
I
Seven
realized that
Rivers
halfway
and
through.
Seven
So
Forests.
yep.
W-
So
we did it at the end, so we remembered.
yep. I was
and
just
it
about
was
to do
an
that
amazing
actually.
game.
I forgot it
you
at the start,
for-
and I was going to do it at the end here, but yes. So thank you to both, because I got to finish my thank yous first. So thank you both of you for coming to this game, for breaking the rules again, for breaking the story again. I love it. The idea of going and getting the pirate ship rather than trying to steal the obvious big ship that was in the city. Brilliant. You guys have worked around, through, under, over. You have avoided
Really?
so many fights. It's great. Yeah.
I really
because
we
you said
break
that they
game.
were pirates.
I really we break game.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, thank you both for everything, for all of that. I also want to
And
thank you.
thank you for being a wonderful storyteller
Oh.
when you are low on energy.
Eh,
I am low on energy as well, but it didn't feel like it. It was an amazing game. Thank you
well,
for
we got
that.
almost 2 hours of forget the real world. Let's have some fun in. So I'll take that as a win.
Yes.
But thank you both. Thank you to everybody that's watched live and also on the VOD on Twitch. And if you watch this on YouTube, please hit the button. If you watched all the way to here, you must have liked it. So hit the buttons at the bottom so you know when we put more of this stuff out.
And comment.
Yes.
Yep.
And
And don't forget bell.
yes, the bell too.
Yes.
Absolutely. That way you know when we're posting stuff. We
Ring
are
our bell.
starting as of next week. Oh no, not quite. Starting in a week and a half, I believe it is. We are going to be back to. We've never done this before. 7 nights a week we will be streaming. So yeah, tune in and check it all out. But to put a wrap on this, and yes, to add the bit that I forgot at the start, from across 7 rivers, from beyond 7 forests, and from over 7 mountains, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.